If you're keeping fish to eat, one of the important accessories to have on board your kayak is a Hobie Fish Bag soft cooler. I'm going to show you how to install the large size Hobie Fish Bag on this Pro Angler 14. This bag's kind of right in a sweet spot for the fishery that we have in our backyard and the fish that we like to keep for eating. Hobie offers a line of bags, starting with the small compass size bag that fits right in the bow recess of the compass, but you can put it on any product. Medium, this is the large, and we actually offer an extra large, which is really only suited for a Pro Angler Series kayak and best on the stern in the rear cargo deck. This bag is really good for keeping fish cold in hot conditions. It's constructed of a 1/2-inch closed cell foam that insulates the ice. It's got a really heavy duty, durable YKK zipper on it, so you won't have to worry about the zipper binding up or damaging, and a vinyl coated polyester outer that won't get punctured by fish's spines and things like that. This particular bag's got a trio of heavy duty carry handles for transporting it from the kayak to your cleaning station or wherever you're gonna put it during transport. And for attaching it to the kayak, there's 3 heavy duty D-rings on each side. I'm gonna do a little bit of a unique installation where I'm gonna mount Padeyes along the bow of the kayak right alongside the front hatch. There's many ways you can mount the fish bag. One popular way is tying a couple Spectra loops around the bow handle. And then in the back here, you can take a heavy duty strap kit and go from this rear D-ring on the bag right to one of the clip points on the mounting boards. That serves as a pretty quick access style of mounting if you're needing to get in and out of the front hatch often. When I'm on the water, I don't get into this hatch too often, but if I need to, I can unclip the carabiners that you'll see will hold the bag to the boat on one side and just hinge the bag over. I can access the hatch and then I can put it right back down. Since I'm gonna through bolt the Padeyes right alongside the front hatch, I'm gonna need to create some access. So the first thing that you're gonna do is just remove the bin, set that aside. I'm gonna need that out of the way. And then the next step is removing these horizontal rod tubes. And there's a gasket that backs that, so just make sure you keep a hold of that gasket. And I'll probably need to get into a couple of the screw heads with a screwdriver, just because there's not a ton of room for the drill. So on these inboard ones, pulling these screws out of the mounting boards. When you go back into the plastic with the screws, definitely a manual screwdriver recommended. I am going to take all but just that last screw holding the H-rail in, and I'll be able to flex that up. But slide those all the way out. And I would keep the assembly all intact just to know how it's oriented. I'll set this on the workbench behind me. My next step is going to be mocking up how I want the fish bag to sit. And I'm gonna center it right at the rear of the hatch and evenly on both sides of the kayak. And I'm just gonna place one Padeye and mark my drill spots. I'm gonna go just below the D-ring. So I'm just gonna make a little mark for my holes. A high-speed setting on the drill will definitely help preserve the EVA padding around the hole that you're creating. And the deck pad kit underneath the bag's gonna really help prevent that bag from sliding. So the accessories really complement each other. I'm just gonna go right down in there. And it's nice to have this EVA deck padding down. It kind of creates a natural gasket that's already in place. When you're creating these holes, especially these last ones up closer to the bow, just be aware that the hull takes a sharper angle in, so you want to kind of match that angle with your drill. Make sure you're not going through the side of the boat. With our 10/32 by 1 inch screws, we're going to go right in there. And we're doing 6 of these Padeyes around the perimeter of the bag. I'm going to back it with a small flat washer and a Nylock nut. I'm going to be using an aluminum clip to attach the bag to the D-rings. If you wanted to, Padeye is a company that makes a really great clip. I'm getting my drill ready, but it's going to be easiest if you start this just finger tight, and you'll appreciate the working room you created by taking the rod tubes out. We've got all our hardware loosely fastened, and as you come up here toward the bow handle, the space gets a little bit narrow, so it could be helpful to have a little bit of a longer screw, but I like this hardware tucked up in there. That way it doesn't catch anything that might be inside the hatch. And so we used a special little trick to hold the hardware together with some tape with a little tab on it, and then we were able to access that screw pretty easily that way. So I'm just gonna go around with my wrench and fasten all this down, then we'll be ready to put the rod tubes back in and clip the bag to the bow of the kayak. All-purpose carabiner clip, and what I'm going to do is actually just pull it through the Padeye and have them oriented up like that. You want to take this backing plate off, insert the tubes into the opening, the tips of the rod tube, and an important part of this installation, or this reinstallation, is to make sure that gasket is aligned properly and actually seated on the flat part of the plastic. I'm going to put one screw in to hold the rod tube in place, but remember, we've got this backing plate in here, so as we thread these screws into the plastic, we have to be sure that they're engaging with the backing plate. Super light clutch here. And then I'm just going to double check these. Fasten the mounting board back into place. We've got a H-bar that we use up here, and we're using the brass insert in the boat. So we're going to go longer screw on the outside into the brass insert. And then the short 1/4 20. Having the bag mounted securely to the bow is actually pretty nice going in and out of the surf when launching your kayak. Not only do you create a little more height in the bow to deflect waves as you punch through them, but I'll also carry lunch and things like that in there. So I'll put the lunch and the ice in 2 separate bags. And if I catch a big fish that I need to ice down and get into my saltwater slushy bath, I'm just gonna eat my lunch a little early. So it's nice, one-handed operation. Slide your fish right in there, close the heavy-duty zipper, and carry on with your day. The pro angler's got plenty of float up in the bow area to hold some weight in fish and not affect the performance, especially if you balance it out with the Livewell XL full of water in the back. If you're still in the market for a Hobie fish bag, head over to Hobie.com, click on the gear tab, and you can view our full line of accessories and specs on the bags on the Fish Bag Soft Cooler dedicated webpage. Have fun, and we'll see you on the water.